I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
If there's one thing every car guy hates, it's cleaning the garage. Do you want to take most of the time and hassle out of that job? Then call Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Agnes and her crew will have your garage, shop, basement, or even your porch looking great all the time. With unique patterns and designs, plus the ability to incorporate your logo or any artwork, your space will never have looked better. Installation is done in 1 day, guaranteed, and Zone Garage offers a 20-year warranty on the top coat. Their coatings are durable, anti-slipped, and impact resistant. Give them a call at 570-856-6067. That's 570-856-6067 for Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
Welcome to the 34 Motorsports Product Showcase. We're proud to offer the full line of Simpson Racing safety products. The Shark Speedway is a perfect brain bucket to keep your melon as safe as possible. We carry every model and size of Hans device, and these have saved countless lives. The Hybrid Pro Lite is an alternative to the Hans device and is just as effective. The DNA 3-layer suit offers maximum protection when things get hot. And hey, dude, those comfy shoes won't help one bit when things go south. Keep those hands ready to work with a pair of Vortex FIA gloves meeting every current standard. From 5 to 7 points, we carry every one of the Simpson harnesses, keeping your rear end right where it should be. Keep all your gear clean and together with the helmet and FHR bag, and always be ready to hop in a race car. Visit 34motorsports.com and order today.
Ever hear the one about the frog? Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. It's a lie. But as a metaphor for us and all that we go through as veterans,
real-world experience.
it's a story that rings true. We make excuses for how we feel. We push everything down. We tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. And some days, maybe, it is. But you've never been interested in easy. Reaching out is hard. Do it anyway. You're not alone. You've got this. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back here to another night of iRacing action. More fun stuff coming up. We just finished up with the Grid Rival Ezra IndyCar Series. Now we're going to head off to Indianapolis Raceway Park for round number 7 of the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. My name is Chris Graham with the National Racing Network. It is a pleasure to have you hanging out with us. Joined in the booth tonight by Mr. Chad Irvine and Mr. James Watson. He'll be doing the in-race reporter duties for us, which, well, quite frankly, I think is just going to amount to James Watson screaming in our ears for the next hour or so. But
you mean how I usually broadcast the races?
That is absolutely correct. This has the potential to be wild here, James. This place is not the easiest to get around. In fact, we'll pick up James Watson 10 here as he's in middle of his qualifying lap. Ooh. Little dancy ass off of turn 2.
Yeah, running this on the ragged edge, that is for sure.
And Chad, it really does kind of give you the impression that that's something these guys are going to be doing all night long here, is really pushing these cars to their absolute limit.
Yeah, fortunately enough for these guys, the track temperature is pretty cool right now, so it's going to make things a little bit easier, especially with the fact that it's a night session. So everything's going to stay cool, remain cool. But yeah, I mean, this track is all about pushing, trying to get the runs off the corner. You really have to set up your passes. Typically, you'll see guys, you think the inside line is going to have the advantage, but running the rim here, you're going to have such a launch off the corner. That's where you get the biggest benefit. So you're going to see some guys almost get clear on quarter exit, but it's going to be a slide job track here tonight. It races like a real short track like you might see over in the stock cars.
Yeah, going on board here with John Betafer as he works his qualification run. 19.62 seconds. Follow him off at turn number 2. This place is up against the wall, but we saw this last season, James. You could make the inside of the racetrack work, especially if you were going to try to pick off a couple of cars over one set of corners.
Yeah, but I don't know. In the races I've run this week, it really doesn't seem to be the case as what we've seen. It seems to be more of the traditional up by the wall, maybe a lane down IRP that we all kind of know and love. So if you're starting in the back, you may or may not be screwed like I am now.
I think the biggest thing here is, if you want to pass a singular car, you can make the move down to the inside. But if you don't get clear the first time around, you have to keep your car to the inside the next lap or so and just slowly eke your way around, taking that shorter line lap after lap. Because as I mentioned, they're going to get everything right back on the straightaways as there's a huge wiggle and collecting the wall there. That's the 15 of Kylo Cecily. They just hit the wall hard. That's going to be the end of qualifying for them.
Yeah, Kylo having some trouble here. We'll go on board with Everett Paddock as well. Man, this place it's just tough. Andrew Berry, who absolutely has owned the ovals and the PM18s over the last couple of seasons, did not get a lap time in. I'm absolutely floored at that. He's going to be fun to watch come from the back of the field as Everett Paddock finishes up his qualification run, and that will bring us to time for the grid. A name we are very familiar with here on our National Racing Network live broadcasts, Mr. Wes Shire. He'll be joining us here in the booth. Wes, congratulations picking up a well-earned pole award here tonight. Tell us how the race car's feeling for you.
Yeah, car's been great all week. Should hopefully be able to get the jump on the field, defend real hard. Definitely going to be a tire-saving race, which I'm pretty good at. So as long as I can convert the kind of first 30 laps here, I think we'll be good to the end.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck.
If not, see if we can convert this pole into a 12th place.
That's right. That's awesome. All right, buddy. Well, good luck here, and hopefully we're talking to you again in Victory Lane.
Yeah, sure hope to.
So there you
I
go.
love
There's
that Homestead coffee car.
I was going to say, the Homestead coffee car just looks absolutely fantastic. Let's take a look at your starting grid here for tonight's race. They will be led to the green by Mr. Wes Shire at a lap time of 19.463 seconds. John Beta for 61 thousandths back, going to line up on the outside of the front row. David Porcelli, Jason Owens on road number 2. Two of the guys that we see at the top of the points, a couple of oval ringers. This one has the potential to be a lot of fun. Graham Sanders and Indy Cassie on row number 3. Simon Fell and Eric Hunter on row 4. Kylo Ciacelli and Everett Paddock on row 5. Row 6 will have Nagisa Yoshikawa and Mike Holler. James Watson and Carlos Villa on row number 7. Woo! And all alone on row number 8 will be Andrew Berry. James, you're going to have to come from the back here. What's the thought process as we get ready to roll?
Let Andrew by and try to follow him through.
The honesty out of that is just absolutely hilarious. Take a look here. There's a look on board with Mr. Watson. Got a long way to go, though, if he wants to get up towards the front of the field.
Yeah.
Now, James, I got to ask, you're starting here with the number 2 car. Of course, that 2 is related to your iRating in the field. Do you feel any additional pressure trying to work your way up and try to get, at least not lose too many points on your iRating?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna lose a lot despite this being a pretty hefty SOF, so I'm gonna need a lot of luck to at least break even.
Oh, this is going to be fun. We're just going to listen to Watson scream for the next 45 minutes or so. Give you all the, we'll give you all the race details here.
$15 cars, 70 laps, a lot of fun.
Yep, off at turn number 4, green flags in the air. We are underway here in the PM18s at IRP. Oh, we've already got a caution flag on the speedway. Yellow flag is out early. Looks like trouble for Carlos Villa.
And I think yours truly was involved in that one a little bit as well.
Yeah, can we see that? Because I'm not entirely sure what happened.
Let's take a look here. Get you the Hot Shoe Raceware instant replay. Carlos Villa, James Watson side by side into one. Oh, maybe some Punterino. Oh, Andrew Berry got a piece of that as well.
I was saying,
Can we see like an overhead shot? Because I don't know if I really moved down much.
I think the big thing for me in terms of that incident was, in terms of for you, James, what it looked like to me is you were trying to take the second lane, and it didn't look like Carlos thought that you were going to be running that high. But here's a look from up top, and yeah, just there was about half a lane there I think that Carlos could have taken, but man, lap 1, that's just unfortunate to see.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to have Ciacelli, Watson, Berry, and Villa all on pit lane here early in this one. So little bit surprising out of a strength of field this good that we would get the early issue. But
and by the way, I did see Berry did take a new front wing to his machine. So he's got the new front wing. It doesn't look like he had too many additional repairs other than that, but he is back underway.
this is round number 7 of the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. 70 laps is going to be your race distance tonight. As we saw, iRacing controls the cautions. Restarts are single file. They'll be all the way up against that safer barrier on the outside of the racetrack. No overtime in the cards for this one. And taking a look at our point standings entering this race, John Bedifer, 5 points ahead of Graham Sanders. David Porcelli, Everett Paddock, Ed Samborski rounding out your top 5. Samborski electing basically not to run this week. He called it he said he didn't want to buy the track for a 1-week fling. Unfortunately, Ed, I think they're going to run IRP just about every season from now until the end of time.
Now, Chris, one thing I like to think about in terms of racing is a home track or home field advantage. Who has the advantage? Is it Jason because he's from Indianapolis, or is it Indy because they're from Indy?
It's a good question.
Or their name is because their name is Indy.
Ben Carswell saying, "Go James, I believe in you." Oh. Well done, Ben.
I believe in him too.
Oh boy, this restart's going to be...
West Shire bringing him down very slowly out of turn number 4. Green flag goes back in the air. We are underway once again. Shire going to get out to the early lead. He'll be able to hold off on Beta for first battle on the racetrack. Going to be back here, Jason Owens and Graham Sanders. We heard Wes talk about the fact that this was going to be a tire-saving race. How difficult is that to do here early on, Chad? I mean, you have to push at least a little bit.
Yeah, that's one of the, you don't want to give up too much time. You have to make sure you have something left at the end. As we continue just to ride along here, there's a lot of guys trying to just get things sorted out, run single file. further on back, we've got some battles as well. I mean, it looks like Andrew Berry's starting to climb. He's picked up 2 spots since the restart.
Yeah, Everett Parry just up behind this battle between Indy Cassie and Simon Fell. They're going to run side by side. That almost makes it a little bit easier for you to try it and save your stuff a little bit here, because you really have nowhere else to go. This is a tight 4-5 car pack. On the left-hand side of your screen, we've got Wes Shire and David Porcelli now battling for second.
There's a big one.
Oh, big, hard into the wall. Eric Hunter's going to be involved. Mike Holler's involved. James Watson involved again. And we are under our second caution flag of this race early on here.
Now, I've run this race once or twice already this week in officials, and I just have to say this is as many cautions I've seen in any of my races.
Take a look, see what happened. Oh, yeah, car just got loose. Oh, Watson and Holler with nowhere to go. Maybe the damage might not be too severe to those race cars.
By the way, Andrew Berry on that, going into that corner, I don't know if we can get one more replay of it. He had a huge send going into that corner. He almost passed 2 or 3 cars if the yellow didn't come out.
Yes, he did. Let's go on board here with Andrew Berry. Big swing there.
Well.
Yeah, that was tight. Looks like Kylo Ciacelli going to be up on his outside as well. So we'll see where everybody's going to slot in. James Watson making his way out of the pits after an 11.6 second stop. James, I'm guessing just the front wing there then.
Yeah. That's 2 wings so far. We're balling now.
Spending all that Team Watson racing money here in one night. Eric Hunter still on pit lane. Carlos Villa is out of the race. So it's going to leave 13 cars on the racetrack. Over 1 minute and 25 seconds or so in repair time for Eric Hunter. I would imagine, Chad, this is one of those that gets really frustrating. If you're one of these guys up front, you want to just get into a rhythm. Settle in, log laps, and get to the end when you can start fighting.
Yeah, if you're up at the front, you know, you have to really pick and choose your spots. Of course, we've seen John get by West for the lead. But overall, it's so difficult to try to find your way by and try to, make something happen. The biggest thing I think for me is if you're some of the guys near the back, you basically need to be able to predict the future. This is one of those tracks, as we talked about. You run against the outside wall. You run as high as you possibly can while doing it safely. But if somebody spins in front of you, they're going to spin out to that outside wall. So if you can't see that come, if you can't see, some sort of move like that starting to happen, you're not going to be ready to react. And typically you want to let off the throttle, dive to the inside, and it's just all about car control at that point.
Yeah, and even if you do see it, just like the last one, I saw it as it was happening, and I still got into holler even though I was on the brakes the whole time. It's just impossible to miss anything on this track. It's so difficult.
David Porcelli, Jason Owens going back to their fisticuffs that they had going on.
And Jason running a very low line there through 3 and 4.
Yeah, let's go on board with Jason here. Up against the outside wall, kind of where you would expect him to be.
And I think part of that is him searching for some clean air to get some front bite on that wing. And Wes really looking to struggle here. I don't think he's used to running in a pack because he's about to get overtaken for that second spot.
Yeah, Porcelli down to the inside of the racetrack. Oh, man, Shire, he had to get on the binders in a big way.
3 wide down the backstretch.
Oh, and Shire may have bounced it off the outside wall.
And Wes going to the Andrew Berry school of bouncing it off the wall without actually damaging the car.
We've talked about that, though.
This is one of those tracks where you can do that. You can barely scrub the outside wall in the corner. On some tracks, you'll see it kind of grab the outside tires, kind of just magnetically pull you to the wall. But here, you can kind of just scrub it and barely not do any damage to the race car.
Well, we've heard Kylo Ciacelli tell us in the TNT races, if you make contact square, it's almost like the tires will hit and you won't damage the car a ton. but it's almost a talent in how you're going to scrape the wall off a four.
Oh, absolutely. That's it's all about just trying to minimize the contact. If you hit it too hard, of course, you're going to cause some damage. But if you can barely scrape it, or just pick up the thread a little too early on quarter exit and just tap it, you're not going to get too much damage to it.
Taking a look here, we're going to pick up this battle with Simon Fell and Andrew Berry. They're going to run side by side into turn 3.
I absolutely love Simon's livery in this car, but that is tight coming off the corner. Oh, are they going to go 3 wide here into turn 1? Not quite.
Oh, man, we got to pick this battle up here from the back of the pack, and let's go on board here with Simon Fell. Watson having to peek to the inside. Andrew Berry just up ahead of him. Mike Holler going to be right there as well. That's how things get a little bit exciting. There you see Simon Fell out the front of that car of Mike Holler. There's James Watson right out the back end of it as well. Man, almost sounds like they're bouncing the car off the wall. That's just how hard they're bottoming out into the corners.
And by the way, Holler had a big moment a couple corners ago. Thought about going to the inside, thought about going to the outside, just nowhere for him to go. He had to get hard, lift off hard, and that's one of the things here is if you lift off too hard in the corners, the back end's going to step out. You're going to spin to the inside and then collect everybody back behind you. So just Fell trying to find a way by, and there he goes back to the inside once again for Holler. Can he do it here? Not getting the run. He's not able to close that gap as he turn into the corner like we might see.
Yeah, it's almost like running that little bit more of an inside lane. He just has absolutely no drive off the corner, which really can be as much of a headache as losing the speed off the corner as if you don't have the speed into the corner as well. Picking up this fight here just behind Everett Paddock, Indy Cassie, Nagisa Yoshikawa. Almost looks like some throwback Andretti colors on that number 12 machine.
I was thinking something similar. Yeah, they even got the Motorola sponsorship on the side pod to go along with it. Something I want to think about here, Chris. Here in iRacing, we've got the oval and we've got the rallycross course. Would you like to see maybe the Fast Masters road course that they ran here a couple years ago?
A couple of years ago. Gosh, I can remember watching those races as a kid.
20 years ago now?
About 30 years ago, I would guess. Watching Bobby Unser tooling around IRP, the dopey infield road course. Watching these old guys absolutely demolishing Jags. Oh, it was fantastic. Oh, Ciacelli's tight off the corner. Wow.
That was close. But look who's right there as well. That's Barry just trying to find a way. Got to go one at a time, Andrew.
And I think West Shire is having a little bit bigger issues than we might think here, because taking a look, and Wes is continuing to fall back through the field. Now falling back behind Everett Paddock. So the storyline, couple of the storylines that we were looking at, Andrew Berry, he's up on the left-hand side of your screen. He's starting to make his way up through the field after starting in the 15th position tonight. He's already up to 8th. Wes Shire, our pole sitter, he's going the other way, down 5.
Really weird to see. You never see Wes fall down the order.
Yeah, just from talking to him about his results so far this week, that's the biggest thing that surprised me is how far he's fallen. He's had some decent showing so far, but he continues just to struggle out there. Last lap for him was a 19.6 compared to a 19.4 for John up front in the 6, and just about everybody up in front of him was running faster than him. The only exception there was Jason Owens with a 19.8. Everybody else, though, was running very fast last time around.
So coming up on the halfway point, one of the things these drivers were talking about was saving tires. How difficult is that proving to be right now, James? And what are your thoughts as we head into the second half of this race?
Oh, it's terrible. These tires are Swiss cheese here. I don't know what it is about the surface, but it is not kind to these tires. There's everyone that hasn't pit a million times like me is probably going to have like below 30% on the right front after this is all said and done.
I think they might have done some dive and grinding to the racing surface here in Indianapolis between the races.
Slide up through the field a little bit. Jason Owens going to have Graham Sanders all over his rear wing. This is the battle for the final podium position. And your leaders are gone. John Beta for David Porcelli, 3.1 seconds ahead on the racetrack right now. Eric Hunter trying to come back out onto the racetrack. Darn it, persistence is king. Let's pull him up here. Show him to you on the side-by-side. Ooh.
I think that he's going to probably end up parking here after that wiggle because...
yeah, he is not having a whole lot of fun.
No, I absolutely agree. The weird thing about this course, by the way, just the pit lane entry is just so awkward, I think, especially under green flag. If you're going to park it, though, like he is, hopefully, it's not going to matter too much. But if you have to make a green flag pit stop here, it is not easy.
No, and the pit exit is not real friendly either. It basically dumps you off right in the middle of turns 1 and 2.
And yet somehow you have to find the invisible yellow line on the track to keep it below at the same time. Jason, though, holding on to that podium for dear life. He's feeling the pressure from Graham for the time being, and only about a 10th clear for now. Both of these guys have exactly identical best laps of the race at 19.475. Down to the 1,000th of a second, they're identical on their fast lap. Oh man, even in qualifying term, I can't even get to a 19.5.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Here it is.
Oh, trouble for James Watson out here on the racetrack. Oh, that was almost trouble for Owens and Sanders.
Yeah, I was murdered.
Oh, no. Let's see here. Let's get this battle up here on the side-by-side. And we'll give you a look at the Hot Shoe Raceware instant replay. See what happened to James Watson here. Oh, he got hip checked. Some right side romance. That's never good.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But we just talked about persistence is king. You've got about 26 laps on Eric Hunter if you want to maintain that 13th spot.
Nope,
Yeah,
he's going to hold on to
I-
it because there's only 25 to go and it's a 30-lap difference.
I'm bad at math. Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, so Watson will make a sizable iRating donation here to the rest of the field.
Oh, thank you.
And Eric Hunter is on pit lane as well. He's not turning laps either, so. This is the best battle on the racetrack by far, and Everett Paddock is catching up to it. It's going to be a 3-car fight as we come off of turn number 2. It'll be Owens, Sanders, and Paddock.
Barry, by the way, we talked about him earlier. He is up into 7th right now. He is pushing hard, almost clips the wall out of 4. But he continues just to trot on. He's about half a second or so behind Westshire for the 6th spot.
Yeah, there we got to look.
I'm last lap around as well, so that's the big issue for him is just he has to push, but you know it reminds me a lot of a couple of drivers, say Colton Herta in the IndyCar series, where he pushes too hard trying to make up time, and that's when the mistakes happen.
Yeah, and it is very easy to make that mistake here at IRP. The car seems to want to push all the time until it's snap oversteering. And you have basically nowhere to go. You have to run so high out against the wall at corner entry. I'm kind of interested to see the line that Jason Owens is running here, because he's up high against the wall at corner entry. He's down about mid-corner on the way off. It basically shuts off any run that Graham Sanders could possibly have.
Yeah, that he is aero blocking to perfection. There is very little Graham can do to get around that. That is tough if you're the car behind. You're like, no.
It's almost like we saw in the couple of seasons ago when we were doing the sprint car races, watching Jeffrey Stanton run the yellow line all the way at the bottom. I mean, he was on the apron practically. But that was the only way you could get around somebody, was you just had to dive to the inside and hope it stuck. I don't know that these guys are going to have enough downforce to try to make that work.
No, but that is kind of your only play at this point, is pulling off the slide job.
Yeah, you can.
It's either that.
Taking a look at the onboard here, you can see where you're calling it aero blocking, James, and that's really, oh, wow, big moment there for Graham. That's really what we're seeing, though, is Owens is doing just enough to disturb the air off of Graham Sanders' car that he really can't do anything with him.
No, this is absolutely killer to the car behind. It kills any momentum. You cannot, you're understeering so bad through that you really can't do anything. Your best recourse is to pull off that crazy slider, or hope you catch some sort of break and the car head just catches a wall just slightly. But with that line, it's very unlikely for that to happen.
And Graham's going to try it here in 3 and 4, and that's the place to do it. I've noticed just from running this race so far this week is 3 and 4 is really the place you want to start this move. He's not going to be able to get it done here. He tucks back in line. But right now, I think that if you're these guys running 3rd, 4th, 5th, you're running competitive times. You know, you're maybe half a tenth off of the guys up in front of you. You're not gaining any ground. You're not really losing any either. You want to caution now, that way you can catch back up and get some time back green to try to make up any little bit of ground you possibly can.
Also following the battle between Everett Paddock and Wes Shire here. Oh, we've got one around. Sanders is around it in the wall. Graham Sanders is junk.
Left rear disconnected. That's going to be his day done. And, oh, that's unfortunate. Just talking about, man, the commentator's curse strikes. I said you're hoping for a caution. I didn't expect it to be Graham himself.
Yeah, and Graham is a, 7,000 iRating driver. Man, that thing just absolutely snapped, too.
By the way, you said 7,000. Try 2,700.
Yes.
On the oval side, anyway.
On the oval side. Yes, Graham Sanders is well, he runs a lot of the road stuff, and that's what makes this week fun for me, James. We have guys, John Betaford, David Porcelli. No surprise to see those two at the front of the field. Jason Owens, Wes Shire, even Andrew Berry a little bit. They're not necessarily names that we would expect to see at the pointy end of a PM18 grid.
Yeah, this is what I love about Oval Weeks, is you get so many different people mixed in, so many different players that you don't tend to see on a regular basis, especially some of the more oval ringers, we'll say, talking about Jason and Wes, although that doesn't really tell the whole story of their driving skills. Just we see them a lot more during Oval Week.
Well, yeah, they're guys, they run the TNT series, which is 90+% ovals. I mean, I'll say it this way, they're better on the oval side than they are on the road course side. It's not saying they're bad on the road course side, but they are better on the ovals. I mean, Jason is geared up for these things, and Wes is too, for that matter. This is their chance. Even there's like a separate point standings that get kept for the oval weeks. And it's a big deal for these guys to claim that Oval Series championship within the PM18 community. So
I was gonna say, you talk about these guys getting hyped up for ovals. I know typically, you know, Jason and some of the guys, they'll run maybe 2 or 3 times on a road course. They run 2 or 3 times a night here at IRP. I mean, they're talking about, hey, who's running the 615? Who's running the 815? Who's running the S? It just, every single session, somebody in the Discord is running it, and it's so much fun to watch these guys get excited about it. Just think, in a couple weeks' time, we're at the Big Indy, just across the street.
Don't remind us.
I can't wait for it. I got my setup ready to go.
Yes. It's going to be interesting. And actually, while we have a minute here, while we're still under caution, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule here for the PM18s. Week 8, they're going to head off to Summit Point. We're going Bullring Road Course racing, boys. I cannot wait. We saw carnage there last year. Something tells me we're going to see it again this year. Then we're off to the IMS Road Course, following it up with the season expected visit to the Circuit Spa-Francorchamps. Then the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Oval on week 11. Then Watkins Glen International for week 12. This is going to be
IMS Oval. Did you say week 11 or week 13?
Yes.
It'll feel like 13.
Green flag back in the air. We're underway once again. Everett Paddock able to jump out to a big lead. Let's pick up the onboard here with David Porcelli as well. He's going hunting. The problem is Porcelli's got to worry about Jason Owens right there on the back bumper as well. I guess, not bumper, what? Attenuator, rear wing, however we want to say it.
Gearbox?
User.
Yes, all of the above.
Car.
Yes, the back half of the race car. It's going to be 5 laps to go next time by here for John Badefer. David Porcelli having a good run, and now we're getting close to the point where a yellow flag could see this race under caution.
Yeah, some of these guys are going to be pretty aggressive. Say the one car of Andrew Berry. He's going to try to find any excuse
hard
to gain
into the
position.
wall.
He's right there as well. And
Good
he's thankfully
Lord.
off the racing line. That you see 2 corners at least, if not 3, sheared off of that car. Thankfully, though, he is off the racing line, so he's going to take the tow back to the pits and not bring out the yellow, thankfully for everybody else. But some of these guys still racing very hard. I think that if you're Porcelli right now, you know how little time is left. You know you have to make your move.
Yeah, it's use it or lose it time here for these guys. And we'll go back on board here with David Porcelli. Man, that's a tough break for Kylo there. Brian Labarge checking in saying, don't say it. We won't. I don't know what you want us not to say, but we won't say it.
He doesn't want to say that somebody's going to cause a yellow, I think, is what he's going for.
And then you
Did I
just
just say it?
anyway.
My bad.
Well done, Chad.
I would have lost it if a yellow had actually come out right there.
Yeah, it's a white flag lap anyway. There's not going to be any more yellows.
Yep, white flag is out. 1 lap to go here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. And it has been all John Badefer. Off the final corner, checkered flag is in the air. John Badefer gets the win at IRP. David Porcelli going to come home second. Jason Owens will round out your podium here this evening.
Fantastic bit of driving from everybody throughout the field, and wow, I mean, we had a couple incidents here and there. It didn't start out so clean, but overall, man, it was a fantastic race.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun to watch. John Badefer is your winner by, we'll call it 2/10 over David Porcelli. Jason Owens, Everett Paddock, Wes Shire, your top 5. 6 through 10, Andrew Berry, Nagisa Yoshikawa, Mike Collar, Simon Fell, and Indy Cassie, the last car on the lead lap. Kylo Ciacelli finishing 4 laps down. Graham Sanders, after his incident, 12th. James Watson in 13th. Eric Hunter, 14th. And Carlos Villa will round out your field here this evening. Nice tidy donuts there at the start-finish line, by the way.
You're making me hungry. Are those jelly filled?
Man, that's
Like that-
hoonigan type stuff
I
right
was
there.
gonna
Like,
say, that's
perfect circle.
impressive.
That.
That's
He's
how
had a
you
lot
do
of
it right
practice
there.
doing donuts, doing victory donuts.
Yes. Oh, man, that one was fun. Got to get our, let's see who we're going to talk to here. Well, we can talk to, I know we can talk to Jason Owens here. Let's get the graphics all updated first.
Looks like we got David Porcelli in the booth. Hi, David.
Hi, everyone.
There's a fantastic bit of driving from you out there today. What were your thoughts overall on the race?
Wow. That was a lot of work. That's like the most work I've done on a short oval in a long time. Did everything I could to sort of get up and catch up to John and try and get the win, but it was more important to just take home the second place because I'll just keep racking up these points, and John and Graham can keep trading wins. That's fine by me.
Half a dozen laps there on the restart. What were your thoughts in terms of? Did you have a shot at John coming towards the last run of the race?
Yeah, it was gonna take a pretty mean run on exit. He and I were running very different lines. So I was just doing everything I could, and it wasn't enough to get alongside him between the dirty air and the used tires. But it was good to see that my set had pace overall, and it was just a matter of the opening grid that really settled the finish for today.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race from start to finish from you, and you worked your way up to a second place finish. Anybody you want to thank on out there tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Racecraft One Indianapolis, Team Watson Racing, Satellite Racing, and yeah, I think that's it. Hi to the family, and hi Brianna, I love you.
Oh, that's so sweet! Congratulations, second place finish, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, I mean, that's the standard shout out, but you get to see it now.
Don't forget
All right, guys,
it.
thanks so much.
See you, buddy. Let's
Bye.
talk to Jason Owens, our third place finisher here this evening. Man, I'll tell you what, you were in a heck of a battle. You had Everett Paddock all over you. It seemed like this was not an easy run from front to back.
I sure hope like hell, I can say that, right? That you guys had that middle 40 laps stint like locked in on Graham and I, going just freaking at it for that whole, I don't know, man. That's one of the hardest, without a doubt, that was one of the hardest run stints I've ever had on iRacing, because I was simultaneously trying to save tires for the caution that I knew would come and keep Graham behind me and run fast enough to stay away from Everett, right? Like all at the same time. I am wiped, guys.
James was talking about the aero blocking, not necessarily blocking a move, but just doing enough air disturbance on Graham. Was that kind of a key to keeping you in front of him there, that just managing the airflow that he was going to get?
100%. I was trying to move around, find the cool spots on the track, but also give him the dirty air on where I had seen him run the fast laps in the 8:15. I think he was a little bit faster than I was when I was trying to save tires for the end. And man, shout out to Graham. Like I didn't quite see what happened there. I think he got a little low and it just snap hooked into the wall, but man, that was a phenomenal run, and I hope you guys caught some of it.
Yeah, we had a whole lot of you and Graham battling there. What was going through your head when you saw him disappear from behind you?
First off, I had to check to make sure I was straight down the backstretch, and then I had to look up at the upper right-hand corner to make sure there was no green letters telling me that there was contact. That was what I was most worried about.
Well, I tell you what, bud, it was a hell of a run tonight. Tell everybody what you and I are going to be doing on Wednesday. Insanity is kind of what I'm thinking it's going to be.
Oh yeah, great shout out. So May the 4th, obviously all of us Star Wars nerds are well aware of what May the 4th is, but we have something super special this year on May the 4th. It is the RIL Indy 360. It is a 6-hour race, yes, 360 minutes at IMS on the oval running the P217. That sounds nuts, but what's pretty cool is that Chris and I we're running a light side and dark side car where we have 2 children's hospitals and Extra Life on board, and we're going to go out and try and raise some money for Riley Children's Hospital in Indianapolis and Riley Children's Hospital in Lehigh Valley. So it's pretty sweet, great cause. Hopefully some of you folks come out and watch the stream, and maybe we'll raise a little bit of money for some kids.
Yeah, that's the plan anyway. So congratulations on that. We'll count that as your shout out. And now we got to talk to our race winner here. This guy was pretty darn spectacular the entire time tonight, leading from basically the drop of the green flag. John Bedifer, I'll tell you what, man, that race it wasn't easy by any stretch, but you weren't necessarily really challenged until late in that one.
Yeah, it was a tough race. I had to get by Wes early on, which wasn't easy because my setup is geared more for the long run. So a little bit of it's pretty easy to kind of do what Graham did and loop it out of one of the exits of the corner. So kind of took my time getting by him, and then after we had the first couple of yellows, I was able to kind of break away and then David and I were pretty much matching lap times for a while, and I made a mistake, and he kind of closed the gap, and then we had that last yellow too to kind of bring it close together.
You guys seem like you're going to be a little bit inseparable here as this championship continues to roll on. You entered the night with a 5-point lead over your teammate Graham. David is only a handful of points back. Starting to see a little bit of a breakaway with Everett, but we're now getting close to where the drop weeks are going to start to count. Can you start thinking championship yet, or is it still too early?
No, I just go race by race, and I try and get the wins on the ovals over Graham because he just kills me on the road courses. So, it's always a tight battle right to the end between 4 or 5 of us. So, always looking forward to the championship fight and just see where we end up.
Well, next week we're going to end up at Summit Point. What are you thinking there as we head back to the bull ring that caught so many drivers out last season?
Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't turn too many laps because I was the one that made the mistake last time. So, hopefully get through that first lap this time and just make my way through the race. I think last time I had the pace to be right there with Graham and Ed. And I just made a mistake early on. So definitely try and hold back a little bit at the start, and then just let my pace get me where it goes. So.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations once again on the win here. Hopefully we're talking to you again next week, and let's make sure you get all those sponsor shout-outs and thank yous in.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thanks again for the broadcast. Always love watching it back. Huge shout-out to Alpine Stars Geodesic, all the guys there. Had Carlos in here for a brief lap tonight, and then also want to thank GoPro, Almagato, Wave Italy, and GSI.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you checking in with us here and take a look. And I think we managed to lose Chad Irvine here. That happens. But I'll tell you what here, James. This was a fun race to watch. There was a lot more yellow than I thought we would see. But that's kind of what you're going to get when you put the best drivers in this car on a fairly tight racetrack with not a lot of room to work.
No, it's one of the premier driver skill tracks. Place is very hard to figure out, very hard to get working. So any pass here is incredible and unbelievably well earned. You cannot slip by. You can't make cheap passes. You have to work and work at it. And I think that's why a lot of us enjoy this track. Is it's such a challenge, and you need to be on your absolute game at any point. Like, even one slight mistake in qualifying and you're probably not going to be able to go very far in the race. So yeah, just an absolute amazing race to watch all around. A lot of crazy moments.
Yeah, this one was fun. We'll say it that way. We've got a whole lot of stuff coming up next week here on the National Racing Network, and we're going to kick it off on Monday with the Fuel Premier Series. They will be back. Also on Tuesday next week, the TNT Series returns as well, right back here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. I love the way they schedule that. Run the TNT Series the week after the officials. Kind of gives everybody a chance to get warmed up and ready to go for the league race. So that one's going to be a lot of fun. Wednesday night, as Jason Owens mentioned, we will be driving in the Indy 360 event, 6 hours of prototypes on the oval at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I cannot wait. I've actually driven a car for the first time in like months, so looking forward to that one. Coming up on Thursday, we'll be back with the triple header once again. It will be the Indy Pro 2000 Championship at 10:15 in the East, 8:30 p.m. in the East for the Ezra IndyCar Series, and 7 o'clock in the East, the High Side Hustle with Burt Wojcik and Adam Rubright. But that's it. It's time for us to get the heck on out of here. My voice is going to rest for the weekend. Hopefully I don't have to use it much, and we're good to go for Monday, but I sound absolutely terrible. James, Chad, thank you very much. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and thank you all for watching as well. We wouldn't do this without you fine folks, so we appreciate you hanging out with us. For everybody here at the National Racing Network, my name is Chris Graham. Have a great night, everybody.